name is Eriks Garsvo, and I am a history student at Boise State. I am also the main tour guide at the Boise Train Depot. I created the tour about 2 years ago for the Boise Parks and Rec. Every first Sunday of the month, I host 2 historic tours of the Boise Depot, and they are free to the public. The tour consists of the history of the depot. It takes you from the outside into the inside of the Grand Hall, the waiting room. And there are 2 collections on display. Fred Hallberg and his family have loaned his collection to us. So you will see switch lanterns, semaphore signals, china set from the Challenger passenger train, and much more. Also, the Barclow Brothers newsstand is a highlight on the tour, and the back platform and the steam locomotive Big Mike outside. And the tour wraps up with an elevator ride up the 96-foot tall bell tower to see all the 4 original bells that were made in 1926. The history of the depot starts back in 1924, and even before that, the railroad first came to Idaho in 1883. The Oregon Short Line was building west from Granger, Wyoming to Huntington, Oregon. And in 1883, the survey crews got southeast of Boise or so in a place called Orchard, Idaho. And the survey crew looked around. They go 2 ways. They come to Boise, the capital city, or they'll bypass Boise and follow the more easier grade along Indian Creek through the towns of Kuna, Nampa, and Caldwell to their destination in Huntington, Oregon. They chose the latter route and bypassed Boise. So for 3 years, people of Boise had to take a stagecoach to Kuna to board their train. Finally, in 1887, the Oregon Short Line built a side track from Nampa to Boise, and they ended the track just past the Vista Bridge. And that's where the first depot was, in 1887 there. And that was the way it was from 1887 until 1894, until the tracks were put into actual downtown, and a nice depot was built on the corner of 10th and Front Street. From 1895 until 1924, that's the way the trains came in, from Nampa into Boise and then back to Nampa. So it was a dead-end track. The city of Boise eventually got fed up with being the backwater of the railroad and wanted a transcontinental rail link into Boise. So the Chamber of Commerce signed contracts with Union Pacific to extend the line from downtown all the way out to Orchard, Idaho, to the main line, to bring in passenger trains via Boise instead of having to transfer in Nampa to come to Boise. In 1924, the tracks were extended out to Orchard, and by 1925, the tracks were complete. On April 16, 1925, the doors opened at the brand new Boise Depot, which is situated out on the South Boise Bench. Thousands of Boise residents turned out dressed in their best. Department stores, the whole town shut down for the event. The back platform was packed. There was not a spot to be had. They even had a flyover, which at that time consisted of a biplane flying over from the Boise Airport, which is currently Boise State. And the first train came in with the president of Union Pacific, Carl C. Gray. And the train pulled in, and the president got off and made speeches. The mayor was here, the governor was here, the president. They all they made speeches. A wooden key was given to the president of Union Pacific. They then escorted the president from the stage around the depot and treated him to a stagecoach ride into downtown Boise, where he was part of the Grand Marshal and part of the huge parade that was held in downtown. Bands played all night long in Julia Davis Park, and it was a big to-do. Every ad in the newspaper the next day had something to do with the railroad coming to town. The April 17th, 1925 paper is a 48-page paper, and that paper is all about the grand opening, the building of the depot, the building of the railroad, and all the future and exciting things that will be coming via the train to Boise. At that time, there was no major substantial structure out on this bench here. At that time, the bench consisted of sagebrush, a couple farms, and a very early irrigation system. The people of Boise were quite upset that they knew that the new depot was out on the South Boise bench instead of in downtown, because now the city would have to walk all the way out to the bench line here and then climb up the very steep bench. So the New York architects that designed the Boise Depot, Carrier, Hastings, Shreve, and Lando, they also designed the Capitol Boulevard and the easement to get people from downtown to the Boise Depot. And that's also why the Boise Depot is built where it is. It's in line with the Capitol, and a grand thoroughfare was to be built from downtown, from the Capitol, all the way to the depot, and you could loop from the Capitol to the depot in one long road. Between the years 1930, 40, 50, and early 1960, the Boise Depot had 6 passenger trains a day through here, 3 from each direction. We had the City of Portland, the Portland Rose, and the Idahoan were the main passenger trains that came through here. And these trains were very long passenger trains. They would be as long as the brick platform, so quite a long distance. These were trains that were like a rolling city, hence the name City of Portland and City of Los Angeles and other such names of those passenger trains. And on these trains you could do everything from sleep, eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, get a shave, and listen to the radio even. In the late 60s, passenger service was declining here. The Barclow Brothers newsstand itself actually closed in November of 1960 due to lack of revenue service to the depot. And the final Union Pacific passenger train departed here in 1972. Union Pacific shut down all passenger service, and in 1974 the building went on the National Register of Historic Places. So since 1997, the Boise Depot has been strictly a office space, a meeting hall, and an event center currently owned by the Boise City Parks and Rec.